We will start with the same question. Does anyone in the world, living or non-living, tell me what to do, how I should behave, how I should how I should act or react or anger, hesitation or seek pleasure? Coffee does not say me that to drink it, I will give you the pleasure. I think, I create an idea, I move with the wrong notion. So, what is this I? I is the mind. Again, go deeper. Lane number one. Why lane number one? It keeps the false notion. What appears true but is not true. Coffee gives me the pleasure, but you analyze it. How? Where? In the mind itself. So the moment you analyze, you move into the lane number two. Oh, how simple it is. When we can do, or any time, all the time, in all locations, everywhere, with everyone. Oh, so I can be in mindfulness 24 by 7, yes. So how I spoke, I became a keen observer and I am analyzing. Analyzing, being an observer, is what the discernment is. One example again, thought lane number one. Oh, I have an urge to drink coffee. It gives me pleasure. That is a thought, that is an idea. So I analyze, did coffee say me that I'll give you the pleasure? No. Okay. So I said that it gives me a pleasure. Yes. What is this I? Lane number one of the mind. Okay, let us go deeper. Does the pleasure contain in the coffee? No. It's very clear. Oh, so from where this idea of a pleasure came? I thought, no, it changes my brain chemistry and it refreshes me. Again, if you closely observe the result of refreshment, freshness, it has to do with the brain, not with the you. Oh, so is it possible to have the same pleasure and freshness all the time when I'm having a pain? No. You see, you're keenly observing. When that observation is keen, analysis is done, and that analysis, the moment you start analyzing, you are already moving into the lane number two. You need not to make any effort. Then what happens? Because you are removing the veil of lane number two. So what happens? You remove the veil covering of lane number two because of analysis, because of analysis and as an observer. What happens then? You are already in lane number three. Without practice, yes. So why it does not happen in the beginning? Does not happen in the beginning? Because the mind, lane number one, returns again and again and again. Lane number one returns and push the mind to stop analyzing, or lane number 2 stops analyzing. It does not take so much of time. You're just aware. Or just 3 days ago, I was just aware, and the same mind gave me this question, and I had a big laugh. Does anyone send SMS, email, and to whenever I meet you, you become angry and react? So we have a smile on the face after listening this question. Is the lane number 2? Look at it. Now with that understanding, we move to being comfortable. So at the surface level, why I say surface level? At the surface level, we, as if we follow a step. Step means that it means it is a practice. But fact is that we are not doing any practice. So being comfortable. How simple it is being now. Let us go little again with analysis. Knowledge has to be there. How do I know that I am in meditation or I am not? How do I know that I know that now I am the real self? I am not the body. Knowledge is required. Practice will not tell us. So when I say be comfortable, I am not saying become comfortable. I am not saying become comfortable. So what it means? It means simply the knowledge. Knowledge, not practice. In be comfortable. Now I follow in a simple way. Look at the neck joint, okay? So you look at the neck joint. Now I'm adding one more very subtler aspect. Neck joint. Is it really a neck joint? Or it is like a wave to the water? That is what happens when I see, look, become, be aware of the neck joint, experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now, this is experience, and the knowledge or awareness is independent. What do you mean? No, I may experience that you are giving me the stress, but the fact, knowledge is that you are not giving me the stress. Oh, wow. Knowledge is a fact and a reality that you are not giving me stress. But my experience is, no, you are giving me the stress. Should I believe knowledge or should I believe my experience? Should I believe experience or knowledge? Knowledge is a fact, knowledge is the truth. And the fact that you are not at all giving me this test, can I realize this? By Shravan Manan Nididhyasan, by being a keen observer and analysis. See that. So, what happens when you are into that state? You definitely experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. But your focus, your aware, no, what is the knowledge? Knowledge is ultimately my mind enters into the space. Okay? So mind enters into the space simply means L2, lane number 2. So that is how one master says space is awareness and awareness is the space. And you are already absorbed. It is a conscious absorption of the mind. Now again we have to see that is lane number 3. Conscious absorption. Once we get absorbed because of pleasure, we get absorbed because of pleasure, because of pain, or pain because of reaction. That is also absorption. No, that is not good idea to say that. Yes, I forget everything. I forget everything because of ignorance, and then I am full of reaction, anger, hesitation. See, that is also an absorption. And that is lane number 2, lane number 1. And I harm myself. I harm myself. I create an unfavorable situation, relations, and long list. We already know it. So that kind of an absorption and observation and knowledge is required, is what the discernment is. And discernment is at the highest level, so vairagya is already there. You don't want to go to lane number 1. Not interested. You had a big laugh. So in that state of D&D, it means the discernment and dispassion, 6 treasures start revealing. That is why we say they are the inner treasures. Oh, how simple it is. Look at it again. Look at the shoulder joints. Very good. Look at the shoulder joint. Good. So there is a natural experience in the knowledge. Keep it. You are analyzing experience in the knowledge. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So obviously you know that you are lane number 2. And then what is left? The space. So space is awareness, awareness is space. Is this space or emptiness coming from the world outside or from inside? It is coming from inside. Okay. So if this emptiness or a blankness or the space is within, then It is a waste of time to sit in a room, quiet, calm, free from disturbances, noise, and then practice meditation. You can be in meditation any time. Where is the problem? That is the power of the knowledge. Lane number 1, active, says prepare a room free from the noise or disturbances to find emptiness or silence or nothingness. Now, lane number 2, you are a keen observer. You analyze and see that space and emptiness and nothingness which Buddha speaks is different from the silence we achieve by forcing and creating an outer situation. That people miss. 99.999% people miss this. When you miss, mind is heavily conditioned, so it remains on the lane number 1. Why? Ignorance. Well, I did not understand. There only be a one step at all, only in a meditation. So if there is only one step, it is not a practice. Okay. Then it is not a practice at all, it is a non-practice. So we are still in being comfortable. Look at the body. So you are looking at the body. Good. We are observing and analyzing. I'm giving you a thought and you get the knowledge. You get the knowledge. Knowledge means awareness, and you are analyzing how simple it is. I become your thought in lane number 2. Do you see the body? Yes. See, or do you experience it? Yes. No doubt about it. So we are analyzing. Where is the body? As such, there is no body. All the parts of the body, all the parts appear as a body. All the parts intelligently put together, all the parts intelligently put together, who put it? Existence, is called the body. So as such, body appears true, but not true. What do you mean? This is known as mithya and the false and the delusion. Like waves in the water. Just see it clearly. Mind has some objections, no worries. We have to deal with those objections clearly. what I said, body appears true but not true. Like the waves appear true in the water but is not. Whereas water appears true in sand and sunlight but is not. Same way body appears but is not. So here what we are doing, I told you before also, experience. No doubt I experience body. But the knowledge tells me as such there is nobody. Can I deny knowledge or experience? Another doubt comes. So when I go for the knowledge is true, experience is true, that appears. Now what is my perception? Like the waves in the water, like the body in existence. My goodness, body in existence. The waves depends on the water. Body depends on the existence. And it is very clear to us. Why it is clear to us? We did not born, we did not take birth by ourselves, nor will die, so-called die. Is there any difference between the waves in a water and body in an existence? So what happened? My perception about the body has changed. The body will continue to exist. The perception change drops the fear, frustration. Layer number 1 drops and dissolves. We are already in meditation. That is why we say the knowledge is revealed in meditation or mindfulness. This is what happens. Mithya means false. One meaning, it is constantly changing, so body is changing. Second meaning, it does not have an independent existent. It is made up of so many parts. And if you go to the parts, then it is a matter, carbohydrate, protein, and then go further. It is all energy. We say matter is energy, so it means the body is energy. Oh, so that is how by knowledge we realize Mind lives with the false notion. Another meaning of the false is that it appears existent, but it is also not existent. When we look at the surface, we say it is body. Lane number one. So the lane number one prevents analyzing. Why? Because of ignorance. But when we continue to analyze, we say, yes, I see the body exists, but still does not exist. So what I did? I have a knowledge. So what this knowledge and awareness do? I become bodiless. Now the main thing comes. When we analyze, means we discern or do the viveka, we find body is not there. Only awareness. Like water is all waves. Water is all waves. That is what we see. Mind asks what to do then. And we say do nothing. So when the lane number one listens to it, it gets upset without doing anything, how I can achieve anything. Or when in the lane number two, do nothing, it says, yes, I know. How simple it is. So if I say the lane number three is an experience or knowledge, they are not different. Knowledge or awareness. They are one here. They are one here, not in lane number one. Because we can differentiate, we can separate. Now coffee gives me pleasure. Lane number one. Knowledge and experience different. But in lane number three, the knowledge, awareness, and experience are all one, non-dual, no division. So what we find, only one consciousness alone. So now be carefree, we already know. Let me take so-called another step. So we already know that being carefree is free from the cares. Cares of what? Free from the cares of lane number 1. Because lane number 2 is knowledge. Lane number 2 and 3, you can say, are pure awareness or knowledge. So we need not to worry about it. So again, go to the lane number 1, the thoughts, feelings, images, unwanted, unwelcome. No, we can definitely say yes, yes. So what happens? Lack of awareness, 1. Wrong notions works here. Like coffee gives me the pleasure. Same example. So the mind keeps repeating these thoughts again and again and again and again. So that is a trigger coming from sanskara. Sanskara is just nothing but the past impression. So we validate past impression. Who validate? Layer number 1. We validate impressions in L1. So it is a lack of awareness. Lack of awareness is ignorance. It is ignorance. So what we need? We need to push to layer number 2. Okay, coffee gives me pleasure. Let me see. Let me perceive. Let me observe. Honey gives me pleasure. Let me see. Let me see. Let me become aware. And that is what is known as moving from false to the truth, from ignorance to wisdom, and from death to immortality. Can you see immortality? Means what? Now I know body appears to exist, but it is not. So freedom from death. Or we can say, I am not the body. Now you see, a single statement coming from the Eastern wisdom has such a deeper understanding. We miss this understanding and then we say, okay, I will practice meditation and my body becomes immortal. You are not the body. we picked up the step, so-called step. It is only one step. Be carefree, free from all the cares of the mind. So mind cares unconsciously, habitually, impulsively. That is why it is a wandering mind. Mind cares us habitually, impulsively, and so on. That is why it has wandering nature. Obsessed means keep on repeating. Oh, I didn't have a cup of coffee, that's why I'm totally upset today. We are not saying don't take it, but we are saying change your perception. Coffee gives pleasure. We are not saying don't take it. What we are saying, change the perception. Move to the right, we move to the knowledge. So when you move to the knowledge, the brain needs it. Okay, brain needs it, give it if it is necessary. Like you have a nurse, go to the washroom. You feel sleepy, go to the bedroom. There is no problem. So take coffee, no problem. But if we take coffee, mind depends on the coffee for pleasure is false, is wrong. One coffee thought makes the mind habitual. One habit creates millions of habits. What happens? That prevents the mind to move to lane number 2. That is why we have Viveka and Vairagya. There should be a conviction in the mind. That is what our master says, conviction in the mind about Viveka and Vairagya. Not with reference to anything in the world, but with reference to lane number 1. And from there, I could realize that from there, the mind reveals the question. Does anyone say me to be angry over him? The simple answer is no. What happens? You jump to the lane number 2. You start Viveka. And the next moment, Vairagya is there. And the six treasures means what? First is the calmness of the mind is there. The wandering mind stops due to lay number 2 and lay number 3. Knowledge is much more powerful, if I say, than experience. And that knowledge dispels the wrong notion. So wandering mind also stops. And what is this knowledge? That knowledge is consciousness. That knowledge is consciousness. So experience in the mind coming from the right knowledge, that is what we say, the right knowledge. Right knowledge is consciousness. Or experience coming from the mind and the senses. Pleasure. Coffee is full of pleasure. You are still taking coffee. Right knowledge. No issue at all. If it is a requirement of the body, you take it. That is the Such is the deeper journey of Eastern wisdom. Now you compare the understanding of the mind in Eastern wisdom and modern psychology. I also use doing nothing in the end. Lane number 1 always wants to do because it claims I am the doer and experiencer. Experiences through senses and the mind, no doubt. No doubt we need that for the survival of the body. It is required. But there is no issue. Why there is no issue? The lane number 2 recognizes as such there is no I. It is the mind only. So why not mind live in lane number 2? So you drop being a doer and enjoyer. So now the coffee does not give you the pleasure. You find calmness inside. Another part of doing nothing is happening, and you are naturally aware. You are naturally aware. Happening, what is happening? Body is happening, if I say so. Be very clear. Breath is happening. Okay, thoughts are happening due to the past impressions. Oh, it's simply happening. I have to do nothing, yes. Breath is happening, then what? It is a witness consciousness. Why we say real self, why we say it is real self present and aware of the world outside is witness consciousness. When no witness, then it is real self only. Doing nothing means whatever is happening, it is in the field of awareness because the conscious mind is there. Why the conscious mind is there? The mind has borrowed the consciousness from the mind. Consciousness is borrowed, given to the mind, it becomes the conscious mind. So the conscious mind means awareness mind. Awareness means whatever is happening, we are receiving through the body, senses, motor organs. So we know body is happening, mind is happening, breath is happening, outer noise is happening. It is happening. So it is a witness consciousness. So we define the real self, which is a pure consciousness, need not to be aware of the world, but with reference to the awareness of the world outside, including the body, mind, intellect, ego, thoughts, feeling, relations, is witness consciousness. Does it remain a witness consciousness in deep sleep? No, the mind is not aware of the world and the body. So in deep sleep, the pure consciousness remains? Yes, but we cannot recognize that real self in deep sleep. So another part of the happening. Sometimes the conscious mind, which is moving in the lane number 2, you become aware of the breath, it's okay. You become aware of the body, it's okay. You become aware of the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, it's okay. Everything is okay. In the state of a happening, everything is okay. My goodness, in the state of happening or doing nothing, everything is okay. Check why. Lane number 1 is there, but lane number 2 and 3 overpowers, if I explain it in that way. What it means? You are in knowledge, awareness, experience, where all the three are one. No duality. Oh, no duality. So no issue. That is the nature of mindfulness or meditation, which is effortless and natural. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences, and bring the hands down.